Alright everyone, welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. So we're going to continue on from where we last left off, which was pretty much investigating the new exhibition area. So, with that said guys, I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. Now let's get to it. Alright guys, and we are back. So I guess it's time for us to move on to, new location. Yep, experimentation stage. Sorry about that. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds for the Crystal Tower. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in the dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost trodden on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. What's that? I can hear voices from up on stage. It sounds like an argument. Oh, look, it's Gina! Oh, of course, arguing with, Gregson. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy! What are you doing up there? It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! You! Here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well! Your ladyship! Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in the balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable! I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship! You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you! Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? A measly 5 bob, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't ya? You can stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Naraodo. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is! You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother, 3 bob. This is Janelle Estrada, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In that case, that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. This is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, eh, Otto? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all that name calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat and all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assume you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. Wow, she's now working for the the authorities now. That's cool. This raises a lot of questions. Alright, let's get to talking. This is important. About Gina, please. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good at it. Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, huh? Talk about a sea of change. And then there's Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police force around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him. Just a small promise then. Nothing serious. Oh, Jeannie, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how come I had to go to the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregson and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Gina and made her a sort of an apprentice. That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson, and brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and the short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Ooh, what, Runo, what? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on, you're not so on about that, are ya? The Legend of the Reaper or whatever it's called? Core, you don't have to worry, Otto. If I didn't have to worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Alright, well, you say so. Core, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers in his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment there yet. Sorry? You mean you saw Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's gonna take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right? You have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start? No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success. In a way. It was? How can it have been? Oh-ho. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of smoke and that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, huh? In the Crystal Tower over there. What? In the tower? You can see for yourself, can't ya? Up there above the scaffold. Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, I messed up. Let's go read that. Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I'll tell you what. You can have this. It's a planned old experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off here before, so fair is fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Alright, we got an experiment sketch now. Good to know. Alright, about the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. For what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yes, naughty old Gregson ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call him again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can investigate. Yes, I've never heard something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about before from down there, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Otto? Go on, see if you can get to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is? We can try, can't we, Bruno? Gracie will listen to us. I guess. I mean... The platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up. About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan. Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in London a year, Bruno. It's time you got used to our measurements. Yes, well... This thing is so tall, the spectators at the front would just have been a wall and nothing else. See no wall, sorry. If I thought they secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. But what am I looking at? Oh, whoa, we can look at that. What? That's new. That's new. That cloth was bothering me. Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable. It's a canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Jeannie's mid-yawn. Alright, we got another, evidence for the court record. What's this thing here? Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just there. Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of a machine that exploded? Maybe. It could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. The mysterious contraption has been entered into the court record. Ooh, okay. Ah. The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be a focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan. There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw. And thanks to that incident, the whole tower is shut. Suddenly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up in the balloon now. Londoners must be very patient people. Alright, let's check this one out. That's where the cove ended up after is instant kinesis, or whatever they call it, Dedo course. Yeah, they're calling the experiment a success. What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers, our lads, set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. Oh, messed up. Didn't you help erect the scaffold then? Nah, lookout duty's more my thing, wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you a boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Okay. Let me see what else I can examine here. Are we done? Hold on. Okay, we examine that. I've been meaning to ask you for a while now, but what are those funny round blobs floating in the sky? Oh, they're the flying balloons I've been talking about. I want to go up in one so much. I've read about situations like this in a magazine about strange phenomena. Creatures from outer space coming in around flying objects to attack Earth. Well, I suppose inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the great exhibition. This is it, Iris. It's happening! It's not. Don't worry. I'll explain it all to you later over a nice cup of tea, Bruno. Okay. Let me check out the stuff I got. The mysterious contraption. Ah, what's this? Ah, there's some sort of lever here. Oh, a crossbow. What the? What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably used for the same thing too. Alright, we got a crossbow now. Uh-huh. Okay, converse with anyone else. I didn't even know I could check out the stairs. These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds experimentation stage. So that's it, isn't it? The machine that blew up. Ooh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time, he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that given that I now live in that roof. Well anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate. Ah, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be in deep thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He just looks confused to me. Let's talk to him. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air? Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point. Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell— Stop! Don't touch that. That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship, I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Oh, so sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. Oh, hold on. We're representing Professor Harebrain in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh, yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy? My guy here is like toying. Of course, your ladyship. Hey, didn't you say, your ladyship? But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo? She really knows how to get what she wants. Alright. Government policy. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They're making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new highfalutin Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. That's a mouthful, guys. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. Poor Gregsy. He's very head up, isn't he? Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're going to continue talking to Gregsy over here. And then continue to investigate the machine if we can, for that matter, to see what's what. So if anything else, guys, thank you all for watching. Until the next one.